Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is part 80 of the story of creation. So, we've been exploring the universe and really uncovering the history of creation and evolution. And we're learning not only about human existence, but matter and experience and all of the parts of existence that we know today. And so today we're going to be talking with, so we've got star beings today. So we've got beings who you can feel them. They're, they are from, they're from this universe. So they were created here, but they also travel is how they're showing me. So they travel to other dimensions, other universes. So that opens up a hole just right there. Like dimensions. What do they mean by dimensions? I know that these are terms that we hear a lot, right? We hear a lot of people talking about them. But I don't often hear universal beings talking about them. So when they say dimensions, I'm like, what? Like what? Because I want to know the truth. I want to go direct to the source and find out exactly what's going on, right? And that's ultimately what the story of creation is. It's the creator. It's the universal beings who created this world. They want to share the truth with you. Why? Because you need to know. You need to know your origins. You need to understand who you are, where you come from, why you exist. This is why so many people are walking around feeling empty. You may have a really full life and it's beautiful, but there is still something missing. This is it. It's knowing who you are and why you exist. Why is that missing and why is it so significant when it is missing? Because we're all meant to know. We're meant to understand, right? We are we're connected to consciousness, but consciousness is just the record of everything that's ever occurred in existence. We're connected to the bigger aspect of creation itself and the universe. And our job, our mission here as souls is to expand the universe, expand the opportunity and the experience that we are all here to create. And so we haven't spoken with these particular star beings before, but they are using the word galactic. And so what term is it's they want to begin to explore and explain, and it's interaction between different, the exact words, breeds of society. Okay. And so this is really important. What they're saying, it's very important for humans to understand how different breeds, this is the word they're using. They're not using the word species, they're using the word breeds. And so that's important. I don't know why yet, but it is important. So, what they want to explain and what they want us to go in and explore today is we're going to start to uncover and unravel a lot of the mysteries behind interaction. Okay. I love when I see, because the words come and I just speak as they're coming. I don't know them first. So, so it's sometimes shocking. So today it's going to be the interaction of ETs and extraterrestrials. So what is an ET? Okay. So we're going to start there, and it's about understanding that there are other life forms in this universe. Okay. And so, the creator created human souls to explore our potential. This is also important because as a human soul, you do have the ability to project into other universal experiences. Okay. super important. You cannot become a different being, a different type of being, a different species, okay? But you can have different experiences. So you can go to different places. Likewise, other beings can come here. Now, this is okay. I'm a little speechless. Just bear with me. Mostly because we haven't talked about this in such literal terms, right? It's always knowing, yes, they do exist, but they want to break it down and they want to explain how this all works. And so, and why it's important now is, yes, they've been coming here a lot more frequently in the past 100 or so years. However, what's important is they're going to, okay, this is interesting. So they're going to begin to merge with our society. Now, why is this, why is this happening, right? So ultimately, humanity doesn't have the capacity to hold the vibration of truth as a result of, really, it's this secrecy feeling, right? Like it's this, yes, the control and manipulation, but the control and manipulation that occurred was literally to keep all of the truth secret. That's what it is, right? That's the purpose of it. So it's not just to control and manipulate humanity. There's got to be a reason. Why do you want to control? Why do you want to manipulate humanity? It's to keep the truth secret, okay? And the truth is that all conscious beings are aware of all conscious beings, which is why their goal was to ensure that humanity basically lost consciousness, right? Lost the ability to be conscious, which is different than consciousness itself. But anyways, we've talked about that. So what they're explaining is ETs are going to incarnate in multiple ways. But there's not going to be, it's not like a whole bunch of babies are going to be birthed, okay? Because that's not really how existence works, okay? That's really important to understand is species are Earth specific. That's why they use the word breed. Okay. Species are Earth specific. And what they mean by that is the creator and the angelics and everyone who collaborated on the creation understood that in order to ensure self-healing and all of the aspects of physical existence on Earth, that there would need to be a number of different species who integrate with each other, okay, and who interact. And ultimately, it's an ecosystem. Like the entire planet is an ecosystem, right? And so each species is vital to the success of the greater whole, which is, another reason why humanity is suffering at this point, because species have disappeared. And okay, so they're also, I know this sounds a little disjointed because there's so much information, right? But it's understanding we're on the 5th iteration of human existence. So, this is like dinosaurs were at a different time because there was a different experience. And when they, that was just another experience of really. So here's the cool thing, right? Like the creator, the angelics, like these universal beings, they don't know it all, right? This is how humanity, like higher beings have been portrayed as knowing it all, but they're not. They're also, just like us, exploring their potential. So when they created different beings, and then they realized, wow, well, like dinosaurs aren't going to work because they don't support each other in life. So that's where the current iteration takes into account the greater, it's a greater example, right, of understanding that all beings give and receive life. So it's a constant, what's that word? Exchange of everything, right? It's a constant exchange of consciousness and awareness, but also physical aspects of self. And so every being, just like every soul that's been created, was created to contribute balance to the universe. Every species, okay, was likewise created to ensure balance on the planet. So that's different than, right? Souls are for the universe, species are for the planet, okay? And so each species has a specific remarkable trait that they're the stewards of, if you will, for the universe. And so when they can't do what they're created to do, a part of existence dies. And they want you to feel that for a moment, because that would be, if a part of you stops working, a part of you is going to die. That's how intimate our relationship is with every species in existence. So the next time you see maybe a wild animal or a snake or a spider or whatever it is that you've decided, ooh, and you decide that you may want to be the exterminator, if you will, it's taking a deep breath and remembering that that being is a part of existence for a reason. And you, instead of being the authority on that being's fate, you have an opportunity to learn about their creation and their natural instincts and abilities, right? And so that's how, like, the creator and the angelics are here, and they really want you to begin to understand that interaction between species was always with full awareness, right? It wasn't until this control and manipulation where everything became secret. And how do you do that? Well, you pit one side against the other. It's really, really simple. And in doing so, they've created a massive rift basically between humanity and every other species, but also within humanity, they pitted men against women. And this is why creation is deteriorating. Okay. And it's really important to understand that the foundation of relationships are in this universe are built on truth. They're built on clarity. They're built on the ability to learn because you have full awareness of each other. We're not here to wonder if someone's telling us the truth. We're not here to, let's go see if we can talk about this and we, meet on the same wavelength and we have the same dreams and we have the same goals because we both want to live beside the ocean or whatever it is. The reality is we're here to explore our potential. That's completely different. And how do we do that? By learning from each other, not from someone spewing a whole bunch of, information that they've read from books or studied in a lecture hall. We're here to learn from each other in a way that allows us to expand our awareness of existence. That's what we're meant to do. Okay. So what's also fascinating and what's really important to understand is, there's a huge example here. Humanity right now is very sick. It will be rare for you to come across a human being who has zero physical symptoms. It's rare. Most people have physical symptoms of one challenge or another. Some have multiple. And those are a result of a complete lack of self-awareness and truth. Okay. And I'm not talking about self-awareness, you don't know anything about yourself. It's understanding that when you have a direct connection with the universe, okay, you have awareness of what it is you need, what your body needs, and how you're meant to be in existence. But it also gives you the opportunity to then connect with those who are going to nurture your body in whatever way it needs to. And so what's happened is, again, how do you control someone? By keeping the truth from them. It's so simple. It's so simple. And telling them how it is to make them believe that that's the truth, right? And so, this point in human existence, there's not enough integrity in the human race, right? This is 8 billion people. There's not enough integrity as intention for across the human race for truth to be restored. Why? Because we have what they're showing me, we have a situation of mob mentality. Mob mentality is based on fears, and it's based on the fact that there's this world, this illusion that's been built in this physical world where 2 things, fame and fortune. And there's a reason that fortune is not construed as wealth here, okay? It's very, very different. But fame and fortune are leading, and whomever has those things they're more valuable. They're more important, okay? Because here's the other part. You'll know someone who's in the world of fame and fortune because they're interested in what other people think about them, and they're interested in control and controlling and manipulating their world to ensure that it remains the same. Okay. Wealth is those people who are on a self-exploration of their own potential. It's fundamentally different. And so why they're breaking this down and why this is so important is because if someone in a position currently of fame and fortune makes a statement, it is construed as truth. And this is causing mass hysteria at this point. What do they mean by mass hysteria? It doesn't need like people running around going, oh my God, oh my God. That's not necessarily what mass hysteria looks like. Mass hysteria is recognition that people are not focused on themselves. They're not focused on their own evolution and their own exploration, which is what humans were created to do. They're focused on judgment and hatred and constantly being at war. And when I say at war, it literally means you're in opposition of someone else's perspective or opinion, and you've pitted yourself against them. Okay? So this is the definition of mass hysteria. And so what's happened, okay, is that humanity is at this stage in evolution where we need to rise. We need to come back to truth. Okay? We need to. The universe has shifted. Everything is shifting. Everything is changing. But humanity doesn't quite have what it takes right now. Not because there's anything wrong with us, but because we've been fed the lies for so long, we're unsure of who to trust and where to go for truth. Right? It's hard. It's hard to believe anybody. And so that is why I'm going to say it. I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it. That is why the ETs are going to reintegrate with our society. Now, very specific words, reintegrate. That means they've been here before, okay? And they're going to integrate, right? Reintegrate with society, meaning it's going to be a very smooth transition and you probably won't even know it's happening. And what they're showing me is basically these beings are coming in and they are going to be beacons of light, of truth. They will no longer, right? So it's not that they will no longer, but they will not at all participate in anything but truth. Okay. So, yep, they're going to look like humans. That's really important also to understand. They're going to look like humans. However, okay, when you talk to them and you start to go down a conversation where you start to go in and veer into a non-truth, they're going to bring you back. They're going to bring you back. And they're going to bring you back with compassion and respect to truth. They're not going to use judgment to come to truth because that negates the entire process of what the entire universe is trying to accomplish here. You cannot use the system to break the system. It's impossible, right? You cannot use control and manipulation, and judgment, all of those things. You can't use them to get to truth. The only thing you can use are the 9 universal energies of existence, right? If you want to know what they are, I wrote about them in Believe in 2012, and they're all there, all 9 of them. Okay, they're basic, but it's understanding that the universe itself is changing. Okay, with or without humanity, it doesn't really matter, because the creator knows this is where his creation is going, not because he's telling everyone how it's going to happen, but because he has decided that there's an end to suffering for this iteration of human existence. Remember, this is the 5th iteration, which means he's been through this before in different ways. And when you see suffering and you can't find a way to come back from it, you have to end it and then he starts again. But this time, he genuinely believes that humanity, you sitting there watching this, wherever you're watching this in the world, he believes in you, that you can see truth, that you can release your judgment, you can release your need to follow others instead of your own instincts. He believes in you. He knows that you're self-healing, that you're self-governing in a way that aligns you with the entire creation of the universe, exactly how you were created. And that's what's being restored. That's what's being restored. That's what he means by the end of suffering, okay? Suffering occurs when we don't want to see the truth and we don't want to participate in it. So we suffer. And right now, humanity as a human race, we're making strides, but not enough. There's still too much suffering to bring the vibration up. So these ETs are going to come in. So they're light beings, and it's really okay. So there's a lot of people are going to be walk-ins. Are they going to? No, they're just going to show up. Don't worry about all the terms you've heard in the spiritual world. Just let it all go. Okay. How you will know if you're interacting with one, because you'll feel it, your instincts, because every part of you, when you're talking with them, will start to light up. You'll feel electrified. You will feel heard and seen and respected. And you will know that the only thing being exchanged is pure truth. That's how you'll know. Don't look for, the shiny silver skin and the big eyes. That's not what this is about. This is about understanding and recognizing that you will see other life forms when humanity is ready to see other life forms. Right now, you're not ready to see that. All you're ready to do is hear truth. You're begging for it, you're craving it, but you're also starved for it, which means you don't trust anyone. And that's okay. That's okay, because this is the process of building trust. How do you do that? Send in send in the beings who only do truth, because humanity, we can't. We've been living underneath this control and manipulation our entire lives, and not just our entire lives, but this is tens of thousands of years thick, over 50,000 years. So generations and generations of lies and manipulation and control. And this is not about gender. This is not about race. This is not about any anything that the world sees fit to argue about and fight about and wage wars about. It's not even what, gosh, they're showing me like governments are creating laws for this and that, and none of those things matter. The only thing that matters is restoring truth. Why? Why is that the only thing that matters? Because when you know who you are and why you exist, you follow that naturally, because it allows you to feel so compelled and fulfilled, because you know that fulfillment is down that path. There's no question in you. When you have truth about what's going on and how humans are interacting with each other, you know exactly who you can and can't trust. When you know truth about existence and the planet and what's actually going on. Is it global warming? Is it not? What actually is really happening, right? Who's the good guys? Who's the bad guys? Because that's what we're all thinking, right? Gas or electric. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? These are questions that go through our heads all the time. That's what truth solves. When you are in alignment with universal awareness, that's the kind of truth I'm talking about. I'm not talking about someone's opinions, my truth, your truth. I'm talking about universal perspective of existence itself. And the universe, right? All of that universal awareness, it's stored in consciousness. So, and it's not like someone's overseeing the storage of it and it's locked up and you have to go and apply to get that information out. You put a request in, can I please get this book from, the beginning of existence? I want to know how this was created. No, it's just there. It's just there. And it comes to you when you ask. You don't have to go get it. Right? But that's what we've been taught in our world. You have to go get it. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. And you'll only get it if you're worthy, even though you've spent maybe 30 years trying to be good enough. Right now, our world is falling apart. And it is supposed to be. So celebrate, because all that is not truth is cracking and breaking, right? It's cracked a long time ago, but now it's crumbling because it's supposed to. Any facade that was literally used to create any sort of control or manipulation against the human race. Remember, this is the greatest crime against humanity in existence, right? The holding back of truth. All of that, anywhere that intention is still held, it is crumbling. The world is going to change significantly in the next 8 to 9 months. Significantly. The structures, it's interesting because it's not quite like a spider web that they're showing me. It's like a city, but if the city was made out of webbing, but it's steel structure, like but it's just frames. So that framework of society is crumbling because it isn't built on truth. It isn't built on, it's not in alignment with existence. It's had its experience, and the creator's like, okay, that's done now. Enough. Let's move on. But he believes that you still have the strength and the power to see truth. And so he and all of these universal beings and the star beings that are coming to help. This is really important, okay? Help doesn't mean they're going to do it for you. Again, what we've been taught in society, wait for someone to come do it for you, to come save you. That's not what they're doing. They're coming to help. Help from a universal perspective means they're going to show you the way to truth. You're still going to have to choose to show up. You're still going to have to choose to want to see it. And that 99% of the time, that means you're going to have to change one of your belief systems. Sometimes it'll be connected to 50 different aspects of your life, that one belief. So it's hard. It's going to be hard to want to change it. But it's also going to be easy because it's understanding that this is where humanity's going. This is where the universe is going. We're going to a place where the world is based on truth, where it's based on respect and understanding of our own existence. And if anything is in opposition of that, it's going to crumble. So there you go. ETs are coming back. They're reintegrating with society, which is going to be awesome. Especially for those of us who are like, okay, so how's this going to work? And, we've known for years, right, that something like this is going to happen. You're just going, okay, how and when, right? Are they just going to start having, these tall ET looking slick beings walking down the street? Nope, that's not it. We finally have our answer. They're literally going to come in. They're going to look like humans, but they are going to be otherworldly. You'll know it simply the moment you have a conversation with them. And the conversation part is so important because our entire universe is based on connection. And that's the whole point. They're literally reigniting your ability to connect. Why do we not connect as much as we used to? Because you don't trust anybody. Super simple, right? We've lost our trust in ourselves and in each other. And we have to get that back. But you have that when you have connection and you have access to consciousness and truth. You have it instantaneously. You trust everything and everyone. The only reason you don't have it is because this big illusion that everything is a secret has been playing on you. It's ending. And it's time, beyond time. And it's the most exciting time to be alive. Yeah. So let me know, let me know what you think about this whole return of extraterrestrials. And, I'm excited. I want to meet some, yeah, more than one for sure. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm looking forward to light-hearted connection with other humans again, instead of connecting with people, but through some sort of judgment or opinion, right? We're not coming together because we're fighting against this or against that. We're coming together because we are meant to remember who we are and why we exist so that we can start existing again. So we can start participating in evolution again instead of simply wandering through life, wondering what we're meant to be doing, how we're meant to be doing it, and who we're meant to be doing it with. It's time for suffering to end. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.